Remember Tool Time, Tim Allen? Well, 106.3 KRZK has Cool Time with Tony from Allied Air in Branson. Every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 on News Talk 106.3 KRZK. Listen in for the latest consumer information about heating, cooling, saving money for your HVAC system, and more. Your cool specialist, Cool Time with Tony from Allied Air. Join him every Saturday morning from 9 to 10.
KRZK News Time is approaching 9:04, Saturday, March the 29th, 2014, 39 at the Office Concept Studios. Friends and neighbors, welcome back to the Comfort Zone. It is Cool Time with Tony at Allied Air. Now we say good morning to your host, Tony Martin.
Good morning, Josh. Thank you.
You are very welcome.
I'd like to start by thanking our sponsors, Westinghouse Heating and Cooling Products. The world is what we make of it. Paul Kruger Construction, a design build company. Canteen Laredo, and Black Oak Grill down at the Branson Landing. Today, Josh, we have Michael Anderson here with us from Westinghouse.
Got to say good morning, welcoming to the air. First time with Cool Time with Tony at Allied Air. And again, welcome, Michael Anderson. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Josh.
It is a pleasure to have you with us here on the air. And of course, Tony, Michael represents a great company.
Yes. I'd like to give you a little bit of history about how Westinghouse came to be.
Certainly.
George Westinghouse was an American entrepreneur and engineer who was a pioneer of the electrical industry. George Westinghouse was Thomas Edison's main rival in the early implementation of the American electricity system. Westinghouse system ultimately prevailed over Edison's insistence on direct current. In 1911, Westinghouse was awarded a medal for meritorious achievement and in connection with the development of the alternating current system, which is what we use today. With his patents for alternating current obtained from Nikola Tesla, he was able to invent the electrical transformer, which was the invention that allowed him to create and build the world's first hydroelectric plant at Niagara Falls that would supply Buffalo, New York, just over 20 miles away, with electricity. Although electricity is what George Westinghouse was most remembered for, he had many other groundbreaking inventions and innovations. He invented the natural gas regulator to make it a safe, efficient energy source for the end user. With his driving desire to make things work better, faster, and with little waste as possible, it was only natural that the HVACR industry turned to Westinghouse for other home product innovations, to include the refrigerator, the heating and cooling appliances, along with many other products that we still use every day. Today, the Westinghouse Corporation has at its core the same ideology that the creator built the company on over 100 years ago.
That is incredible. That is remarkable. That is a lot of history going back over 100 years. But I think one of the things that I really pick up on from that, Michael, again, is, and Tony, the level of innovation. It's not resting on your laurels to bring consumers the best possible product that they can have in their home. That's amazing.
Well, one thing I can say is that the Westinghouse brand is they're always looking for tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
They're not satisfied about what's going on today. They're taking care of today, but they're saying, okay, what else is coming? What else do we need to keep an eye on? What are more ways that we can help people save money in their homes? How can we do that? So they're always, right now, Westinghouse has technology with efficiency up to 25.5 SEER. That's a industry leader right now.
That's remarkable. That is absolutely remarkable. Is it safe to say, going back all the way to 1911 and beyond, over those 100 years, innovation has got to obviously come from the engineers, the minds that are within the corporation as well. But is it safe to say, Michael, that a lot of that innovation has come from client relation?
Oh, yeah, 100%. So what happens is you've got to have somebody that's manufacturing the products that people want and that people need.
Uh-huh.
So there has to be a good communication between a manufacturer and the end user.
Mm-hmm.
And how we do that is, of course, is through a distribution systems and through clients and through contractors such as Allied Air. And what that is contractors such as Tony, they're able to keep their finger on the pulse on what homeowners, what consumers are really needing and what they're wanting. And through that cycle of information, it gets back up to the top, and that is really what drives innovation.
And would you say, and Tony, we've really hyped this with you since the program has begun, and the fact that you keep your eye on that. You're reading the current trends. You're always up to date. You know what is trending in the market right now. Michael, along with that, is it so? I mean, you talked about the importance of those contractors really being in the know and those leaps and bounds, those technological advances over the past, say, I'm going to say 50 years. In that time span there, when was the last time we had like a really large leap in innovation and technology? Well, in the 80s, the 90s, where was the largest leap we took?
I'm going to say it's going on right now, and I'm sure, Tony would probably agree. I started in this industry back in about 2005.
Yes, sir.
And just what I've seen happen just in the past 9 years, it's gone from something. It's really driving. It's really staying forward, and there's just more stuff on the horizon.
I can tell you from experience. I've probably learned more in our continuing education program through Westinghouse and through the innovations that have come up in the industry. I've learned more in the last 10 years than I did the previous 20.
Remarkable. Now, one of the things that I've always been really curious about, and this is something we'll get into a little bit more in depth after we come back from the break, gentlemen, is the requirements. So when something new is introduced onto the market, I mean, obviously anybody that has hands-on, you've got your HVAC certification, but Michael, safe to say any product that comes from Westinghouse, people have got to be certified, they've got to be trained and know what they're doing when it comes to market.
Oh, most definitely. With that great power comes great responsibility, to quote a famous movie. And what ends up happening is we are constantly, with this product and these innovations coming out, we're constantly putting training out there to make sure that the contractors know what they are getting into, knowing the insides and the outsides, not only how to install the product, how to program the product, but also how they can get that product information to their clients so everybody understands how it works.
More innovation, more from Michael Anderson and Tony Martin. This is Cool Time with Tony at Allied Air. KRZK News Time is 9/11, Saturday, March the 29th, 39, here at the Office Concept Studios. This is Cool Time with Tony at Allied Air, joined in studio by our host, Tony Martin, and also from Westinghouse, Michael Anderson in studio. And boys, we're talking about innovation and the fact that it is more prominent and prevalent now than it has ever been, and highly important too.
Oh, yeah. You can look at any literature that comes with your system. If you've had it installed within the last 5 years, what you really need to do is dig out that literature. You need to read it from cover to cover. You need to make sure that everything in that literature matches up with what's in your home.
Well, and Michael, now I'm not necessarily gonna put you on the spot, and Tony, chime in here as well as you see fit, gentlemen, and Michael. Most importantly, what sets Westinghouse apart from everybody else out there? If you had to sum it up, pick one thing out there, what sets Westinghouse apart from the rest of your competition?
Obviously, one of the things that Westinghouse has that definitely is a trendsetter right now on the market, where I can honestly say if you take this product and you compare it to somebody else's product, one of the things that differentiates their product is what we have on our quality pledge for our equipment. Our quality pledge is essentially, it's a 10-year quality pledge where if someone puts in, let's say Tony puts in a air conditioner for you. Well, once this system gets registered and we register it online, that homeowner is going to get a 10-year compressor, 10-year parts warranty. And not only that, but the quality pledge is going to take over and it's going to say, okay, we believe in this product so much that we want you to feel comfortable with this in your house. If in year 9, this compressor goes out with this air conditioner, we're going to give you a brand new outdoor unit. Okay, we're not going to replace this compressor.
Wow.
We're going to give you a brand new outdoor unit.
It's not recycled. It's not watered down. It's not been used for like 2 years and rebuilt. This is brand new.
That's
brand
right.
new off the line. And that's one of the reasons that, contractors have a choice in what we sell to our customers. That's one of the reasons that we chose Westinghouse. Is the warranty is second to none in the industry. The quality pledge is unheard of. But not only that, the support and the backing that we get from Westinghouse. We don't have problems that other manufacturers have, or other contractors have with other manufacturers, when we go to do a warranty, it's just automatic.
And then you actually brought this in, Tim, and relates to this 10-year limited warranty through Westinghouse. There are some conditions and exclusions in here.
There is, and Joshua, I want you to read that in just a moment, but I want you to pay attention to what you're reading and what the show's been about for the past 4 weeks.
Certainly. Let me go ahead and read that now.
Go ahead and read it.
All equipment requires annual maintenance performed by your servicing dealer or an authorized service technician. Filter changes and or cleaning filters can be performed by you. You or your servicing dealer may be required to submit proof of annual maintenance, including invoices for materials and or labor charges associated with the annual maintenance. Lack of annual maintenance or failure to provide proof of proper annual maintenance may result in a denial of claims under your warranty. You will be responsible for payments of denied claims due to lack of annual maintenance. Nordyne is not responsible for normal maintenance or service or for problems caused by improper installation, application, or operation of the equipment. We recommend semi-annual preventative maintenance inspections on the entire unit and or accessories by a licensed or otherwise qualified dealer, service technician, or contractor.
Now, you can see that that little clause in the warranty. Now, Michael, correct me if I'm wrong, but every company, every manufacturer out there has a clause similar to that in their warranty, do they not?
They do, and this is what I would say, and this is for those people that are out there listening. I'm talking to everybody in this room, but I'm also talking to people that are out there listening on the airwaves. If you have a system, you need to keep it maintained, and we already do this. We do this with our cars. You get oil changes, you get air filter changes, you get new tires. We do that all the time, but for some reason, we don't think about that when it comes to our heating and cooling systems in our house. And these systems need to be maintained. They need to be maintained. Just as we were talking earlier with the innovation, that innovation, the technology needs to be maintained. And if you are taking care of your system's going to take care of you.
Well, and the funny thing is, I'm going to kind of throw a little Joshism out there, as I'm going to call this. Michael, and you might agree with this, you can innovate the equipment, but you can't always innovate the person.
Exactly. And that's where education comes in so important. We as contractors and service technicians have to educate our customers because that is going to cut down on some bad blood in the future.
Well, and as far as like your installs, from the servicing, from your total system analysis, Tony, that you do with Allied Air, again, we're talking about innovation in the equipment, but also you, as a contractor, Tony, you're innovating because you're taking the time to read about this upcoming equipment that Westinghouse has and what's out on the market right now. The more educated you are, the more comfortable me as the homeowner is going to be when you come out to service my equipment or install.
Exactly. And when we're able to talk to a customer one-on-one and explain the science behind what they're experiencing, good or bad, we're able to help the customer in any situation.
Now, Michael, I mean, with you being with Westinghouse, let me ask you, I mean, is it common, and have you seen this a lot? Obviously, somebody has a great Westinghouse product with their home. Let me know if you would agree with me in this regard. They come in and they have this product installed, and then they never look at it again.
I would say that that's a fair assessment.
And that happens all too often, even now.
I would say it happens. And it's one of those things, if it's not giving you problems, you're not going to think about it.
Out of sight, out of mind.
And if your system's not running, you're not thinking about it. And here's the thing about air conditioning systems and gas furnace systems. We're going to need those things in the times where we really want them. So when it's 100 degrees outside and your air conditioner isn't working, you are going to be infuriated. You're going to be mad because you're hot. It's a hot summer day. You got family coming over. You got kids in the house. It's hot. It's not working. And you'll just get frustrated. And so what we try to encourage people to do is have people like Allied Air, have Tony come out, service your equipment, because you can catch these things before they become that infuriating instance when you really need this system to perform and it doesn't do it. Catch that stuff before, and you do that by maintaining your system.
And Josh, I want to just go a little further with that. When we sell a new piece of equipment and we install the Westinghouse system in your home, you're not just buying the Westinghouse system. You're going to see us twice a year for 10 years. You've read it in the warranty. if you don't have maintenance on your equipment, the warranty could be void if something were to happen. And you know, the warranty companies, the warranty is a legal document, and they don't want to have to replace something. That's not what they're about. So they're going to do everything they can to protect that system. That involves maintenance. So what Allied Air does is we extend the labor warranty for the same 10 years as long as you're enrolled in our maintenance program.
Cool time with Tony at Allied Air. Your KRZK News time is 9:19:39 here at the Office Concept Studios. More from Tony Martin and also Michael Anderson representing Westinghouse. You're on the station for Straight Talk and the Comfort Zone. News Talk 106.3 KRZK. KRZK News Time, coming up to 9:22 here at 106.3 KRZK. 40 is your current temperature here at the Office Concept Studios. You are in the comfort zone. It's cool time with Tony at Allied Air. We now rejoin our hosts, Tony Martin and Michael Anderson. And gentlemen, before we went into the break, we really brought up a really good topic. As far as these products go, innovation goes so far, but really it goes hand in hand with the homeowners and efficiency. Some of these products, Michael, tell us about why it's good for the homeowners, why we can't live without these products.
Well, I'll use this analogy, and I think that this is a very good analogy for people to understand. If you have a car, chances are you might have an option called cruise control on your car. Okay? Now, when we put a car on cruise control, if we're cruising down Highway 65 here, okay, and we're going down Highway 65, and I'm going on a straightaway, I put this car on cruise control, it just maintains. All right? And if I start to hit a hill and I got to go up that hill, what happens? More gas is being pushed, and it's doing what it has to do to maintain that load, to get that, let's say we set it at 70 miles an hour, and we want to go 70 miles an hour. It's giving it the gas, it's giving it the oomph to get up that hill so you can maintain your speed. All right? Now, we're going down the hill. We don't go any faster down that hill. What it does is it backs it off. It says, I don't have this kind of load right now. I'm backing off. I'm going to go down this hill. I'm going to start to decrease the power. I'm going to decrease the gas input. We're going to back off. That's what we're seeing with our heating and cooling systems now. We're saying the same kind of mentality on our systems. Westinghouse has systems, variable speed, all the way up to inverter technology, and this is what it does. It's basically cruise control for your home. Okay, it's only giving the output it needs to get the job done. If you have a day where it's somewhat of a cool morning and you really don't need a lot, the system backs off. If you need more, you're having more load on your house, more heat load on your house, and you're in air conditioning and you need more, the system's going to give you more. It's only going to give you what it needs to get the job done.
Michael, would you say that's kind of a response, and Tony, would you agree with this kind of a response with that type of a nature, the cruise control kind of mantra with this equipment? Is that kind of Westinghouse adapting to our behavior as homeowners? Kind of this, I'm going to just say it as a hands-off approach. I have no idea when my unit was last maintained. That kind of philosophy? I mean, kind of having to adapt to that?
There's certainly contingencies for that.
Yeah.
Okay. But what we're really seeing is we're seeing more and more homeowners, more and more consumers being driven by being green, being energy conscious. Okay.
Yep.
And I'll give a personal testimony on this. I have a 2-stage gas furnace in my house. Before that, I had an old belt-driven 60%. It was It was like a refrigerator downstairs in my basement. It was monstrous. My energy bills were $300 plus in the gas season. I put a 2-stage gas furnace in my house. And what that means is that it's got 2 stages. It's either going to be in first stage or second stage. Immediately, I saw a huge difference. Not only because of having that different operating range where my house would have a different load and I wouldn't need all 100,000 BTUs. It would only give me 70,000 BTUs. I saw that difference right off the bat. And I love it. And so I tell everybody right now, if you're getting a gas furnace, if you're getting an air handler, if you're getting an air conditioner or heat pump, you really need to consider multi-staging, either a variable speed, or even an inverter drive, just because you will see the difference in your energy bills.
Not only in the energy bills, and I think you'll agree with me on this, and I told you guys this at the break, but everything that brings efficiency to a system, the byproduct of that is comfort. Comfort like you've never experienced before. Are you experiencing that with your two-stage?
Oh, love it. It's fantastic. And the reason, and this is really kind of like, most people will probably agree with this. If the people in the home are happy, you don't have too many people complaining. If mama's happy, everybody's happy. Yeah. So what happens is these systems are so good at maintaining that comfort level for the house. Not only through just your furnaces, through your air handlers, but through having humidification control, all sorts of things like that. And when you do that, you create a comfort zone for your people, and people are happy.
That's a very interesting point. Can you share? I mean, obviously, you kind of gave us a personal testimonial of your use with this type of a system. Can you give us a dollar amount on the change as far as your bill? Would you be happy to share that with us?
Yeah, when we changed it, now I want to make sure that you understand. I had at least a 60% efficient gas furnace
Yes.
that was either all or nothing, and so it was either going or it wasn't. And we put in a 92 plus two-stage gas furnace. Okay, so what that means is with that 60%, 40% was going out the flue. Okay, it was only 60% efficient. So now my 92, 93, only 7% is going outside my flue. I'm only wasting 7%. Right off the bat, I saw at least between $100 to $125 difference on my gas bill.
Now, I think it's important to tell people you're not from this area. You don't have the exact same climate as we do.
No,
you're a little colder in the winter most of the time.
I'm in Jefferson City, Missouri, so I'm just north here, and so we saw a difference on it. And I'm one of these guys. Hey, I'm a Missouri guy. Show me. When I saw that product, I believed in it. I was like, you know what? Multi-staging is fantastic. Now I can confidently tell people this is good stuff. You need to look at multi-staging when you're going in your house.
That is incredible. So now we're talking obviously the benefits of going green. That's popular for a lot of people these days. Also, I think another popular subject, Tony, and you agree with this too, is people if they've got out of control, spiraling, skyrocketing energy bills.
Oh, definitely.
People are looking to get control of that, and if you aren't, you should be, because there's a problem there.
Now, your heating and cooling system is 40 to 60% of your electric bill. It is the lion's share. If you're going to do anything, you need to do it with that system.
Coming up, this is Cool Time with Tony at Allied Air. Of course, we're joined in studio. First time, Michael Anderson representing Westinghouse. Michael is talking about the innovation that has gone in with their group for the past 100 years plus. And, of course, we're talking about some trends that you, the consumer, and the homeowner have really got to be paying attention to. Now, when we come back after this bottom of the hour Fox News update here, guys, I do have some more questions. For the homeowner right now that is in that situation, they're paying these skyrocketing bills. I'm going to talk about some of the first steps, Michael, that they can take, and I know you'll have some good information for us. That is coming up for you. This is Cool Time with Tony at Allied Air. And again, I want to remind you again that in studio, Westinghouse, Michael Anderson is in with us right now, and of course he's representing that group. We're talking about the innovation again that is so important and is so vital, the changes that they have been working on, and some of the latest equipment trends that you're going to want to take notice of. That is coming up for you right here at Cool Time with Tony at Allied Air. KRZK News Time is 9:32, 40 at the Office Concept Studios. You are in the comfort zone, friends. Cool Time with Tony at Allied Air. And you have got a great topic of discussion going on right now in the studio. Tony Martin, our host, and of course he's joined by Michael Anderson representing Westinghouse. And gents, we have been talking innovation in this first half hour. And of course, telling folks some of the steps that they need to take and things that they need to be looking for. And while we're talking off air, obviously the conversation is generally very interesting. It's the stuff that folks don't hear. I was telling you boys about this house that I was looking at in our neighborhood, and how these shows can influence you and how they can really educate the things that you were looking for. And I made the comment to you that this house didn't have central heat and air. Now, before I would do these shows as a potential home buyer, the fact that this house didn't have central heat and air would be something I probably would have just overlooked and not even really given a second thought. Since I've been doing these shows, however, the moment I found out the house didn't have central heat and air, I was thinking about, A, could I have deducted that off of the home price? And option B, what is that going to cost me to convert a home like that? Any insight from the both of you on a situation like that for a homeowner?
Yeah. I know that you can. There are calculators out on the market, out on the web that you could go to and play what if games. Mm-hmm. You can put in your heating and cooling system now, or if it doesn't have a heating and cooling system, then you can put in a 13 SEER for a replacement, a 16 SEER, 18, whatever. Mm-hmm. Put the SEER rating in as a replacement, and it will tell you how much it will increase the value of your home. Mm-hmm. And in most cases, once you get up to 16 and above, it will increase the value of your home further than the investment that it took to get it there. Incredible.
Because you look at the exterior of the home, and each window had the unit jutting out of it, and that. Really, I mean, if you're in that situation, you're looking at buying a home, and that's what you see visually when you pull up in the driveway. It's time to start doing some thinking. It really is. Now, Michael, the comment I made before we went into the last break, I mean, there's homeowners out there right now, and I know you're out there listening to the program. If you've got questions about the steps that you need to take, questions for Michael or Tony, we encourage you to call in and join us on the program, 330-1063, 330-1063. We'll put you on the air, or if you've got comments that you want to make via text, 699-8446. Again, 699-8446 for the text line.
I would like to add something to that, Josh. Here shortly, we're going to be relying on people calling in and texting in for topics and things to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
And so we really want to encourage people to start picking up the phone and giving us a call, letting us know about your experience with HVAC, letting us know about your questions or wonders or desires, and we'd love to talk to you about that.
Well, and Michael, again, too, I made the comment, I mean, again, and we know that there's listeners out there right now that are dealing with skyrocketing energy bills. Can you make any recommendations to those particular listeners? If that's the situation that they're in right now, they need to take some progressive steps to change that quickly. Where would you recommend that they start in that situation? Any feedback on that?
Well, the first thing that I would tell a listener is get Tony out there. Mm-hmm. Have him come out. Let's look at your system. Let's see if it's operating properly first and foremost. Because we've already talked about how we kind of suspect that there are people out there who don't have their systems properly maintained. Mm-hmm. Well, is your system not maintaining? Is it not performing? Is it because the refrigerant levels are off? Is it because there's restrictions? Is it because your coils are dirty? Get the thing serviced. Take a look at it. Then what we can do is we can take a look at that system. We can compare that system's efficiency to other options that are on the market.
Okay.
And by doing that, we can see how much savings it would be for you to move to a different system.
Because we talked about, I mean, what you did up in Jeff City, and you made some educated responses to your situation, and you dropped your energy bill a significant amount. And that alone should be a reason for a listener to stand up and take notice.
Right.
But again, you didn't do that without knowing your situation.
Right. And I think just as a consumer, what we've been trained to do, we are trained for eye candy. We are trained to walk in and see the beautiful things that a home has to offer. Yep. We're trained to see that awesome cherry cabinet set. We're trained to see that incredible marble tile, awesome hardwood floors, beautiful registers. And all too often, our heating and cooling systems aren't thought about. And here's my question. How much money is that cherry cabinet going to save you? How much money is that marble floor going to save you? And so one thing that I would encourage everyone to do is do the research, know what's going to save you money. And here's what's going to save you money, people. Your heating and cooling system. That's where you should consider doing your research and investing your funds and putting in a quality Westinghouse system in your home. And you know what? The money that you're saving on your bills, then you can put in those nice cherry cabinets, that beautiful marble floor, and those great fixtures.
Exactly. And not only are you
that makes so much sense.
Not only are you
it's
getting
like I sell
payback,
this stuff or something, you know?
Not only are you getting a payback,
I have seen the lights. Thank you, Michael.
but it also adds value to your home, as much value or more than the cherry cabinets or the marble slabs or anything that you could put in your home.
Well, and again, listeners, I've got to tell you, I mean, since we've been doing this show, Tony has got an unmatched and unrivaled total system analysis, and it begins there. If you've got problems, you can take confidence in that, right, Tony? Because really, you're going to uncover every little detail. If it's the detail that's costing you extra money, you're going to find it.
Exactly, and like I said before, our total system analysis is built to point to problems through science. And maybe you don't understand all the science, but we can show you the results in real time and let you make a decision on what needs to be done.
And here's something, too, as we get ready to go into our next break. Michael, I got a good question for you. Now, obviously, you've got this unparalleled and unmatched great warranty that a homeowner can take a lot of comfort in. Along with that innovation that we have really hyped during the program so far. Now, the average life, is it safe to say most of the Westinghouse units could probably go beyond 10 years?
Oh, most definitely.
Without having to have a replacement or a warranty discussion come up.
Yeah, don't let that warranty be the thing like, well, why do they need that warranty for? Well, that warranty is not there because the product is lacking. Yep. That warranty is there for you as a consumer to give you peace of mind. And
on the average, too, Michael, with like a base Westinghouse unit, obviously, if everybody's doing things the right way, a contractor comes to your house and they say, "Hey, let me see your service reports." Obviously, the good homeowner is going to be the one that say, "Here's all my documentation. I've got a file for it. You can see exactly when it's been done." On the average, with a basic Westinghouse unit at a home, as far as the maintenance schedule goes, to the homeowners out there, Michael, what do you say their practice needs to be? How many times per calendar year do they need to have that checked?
I'm going to say twice a year.
Twice a year.
Tony, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would, and it's right there in the warranty that Josh read.
Yeah, twice a year. Definitely, something like a fall and a spring. You want to have a fall tune-up because you're getting ready to hit that winter weather, and you want to have a spring tune-up because we want to make sure that we're prepared for that summer weather.
Let me explain that just a little further. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, we did the first tune-up for a lady who called us and wanted to be a part of our maintenance program. We went in, and the first thing we did was a heat load calculation, and we found that the air conditioner, the heat pump system, was a full ton too shy to provide her comfort in her home.
Oh, wow.
So these are things that we find out, and it's the beginning of spring. It's not hot out. We're able to go in and do some major work in her home and have her be comfortable with us doing it without being too hot or too cold.
Well, during that conversation, Tony, you can tell us here if it came up, and I'm gonna hedge my bets and say it did. Did she ask you at any point? Well, gosh, I'm seeing $50 to $80 or more on my bill. Where's that coming from?
Well, it was more than that, and that was the whole reason.
Oh my gosh,
that was the whole reason she called us.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she had astronomical energy bills this winter and last summer, and this system, I want to let you know, is only 7 years old. Okay, there's nothing wrong with the functioning of the system. It was performing like it was supposed to. A 13-SEER piece of equipment would. It just was too shy for the home.
Gosh.
And not only, it was installed with improper ductwork for what she needs. So this is the kind of mess that you can find yourself in a relatively short period of time if you're not absolutely confident in your contractor.
Yeah.
Friends, you're hearing it right here. Cool Time with Tony at Allied Air. Your situation sound familiar? Have you been led down that path and now you've got a skyrocketing energy bill? It's time to stand up and take notice. Cool Time with Tony at Allied Air. KRZK News Time coming up to 9:47 on your Saturday. It's the 29th day of March 2014. 42 at the Office Concept Studios, and you are in the comfort zone. It's Cool Time with Tony at Allied Air. A great show we have had so far with our host, Tony Martin, and also from Westinghouse, Michael Anderson. And gentlemen, is it okay if I say a very brief prayer at present?
Sure.
I want to say thank you to the contractors, Allied Air, and Mr. George Westinghouse for being an American entrepreneur to make sure that us, the consumer and homeowner, as long as we are educated, enjoy low energy bills. That's my prayer.
That's awesome. And
Amen.
we touched on something a while ago about the service that we provide with our new units. I want to let everybody know that we provide that same exact service if your unit's not ready to be changed out. Mm-hmm. We will take care of you for the life of that system, and when that goes down, we'll take care of you for the life of that system. So you're not just buying a piece of equipment or a service call from Allied Air. You're actually joining our family, and I think that's very, very important for people to understand.
And Michael, too, I want to kind of put the spotlight on you again, my friend. I mean, obviously, we've talked about the innovations. You've got some great products that are going to ensure that we as homeowners, we stay happy. As long as we do our part, these products are going to be good for us. Can you tell us a little bit about the upcoming products and what innovations we can expect from Westinghouse?
Yeah, one of the things that Westinghouse has been an innovator on is called microchannel coils.
Microchannel coils.
Now, traditionally, what we've seen coils that have been made out of copper. Okay. Now, just to kind of tell people what's happened in the industry over the last 10 years. Your manufacturers have been switching from R22 gas to R410A. Now, some people may have known that. Here's what's happened. R22 gas operates at a lower pressure than R410A. R410A is more environmentally friendly. Now, what we've seen industry-wise, what tends to happen, this higher gas pressure going through traditional copper coils. These copper coils are very thin. We're talking probably 5/16 thin. And not only that, but to get the efficiencies, since everything has to be 13 SEER, there's a process called rifling. And what rifling does is basically creates grooves on the inside of this copper. This is going to give you higher efficiency. This is the process. What happened, now just visualize this, higher pressures operating through thin wall copper. So Tony, what happens in those situations?
Well, we have to start thinking about formicary corrosion. Okay, what formicary corrosion is the decay of dead organisms on your copper, and in certain conditions, they turn to acid and start eating through that copper like a hot coal through silk. And over time, given any refrigerant, that formicary corrosion is going to cause micro cracks in your copper. You're going to start losing refrigerant. At the higher pressures, that's going to happen quicker. And that's something that we've seen in the industry over the last 10 years. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that can be done about formicary corrosion once it's started. That's where the aluminum microchannel comes in, correct?
That's right. It is now, consider this, it's not made out of copper. It's made out of aluminum. It carries a better heat transfer. It doesn't have the same kind of integrity issues that copper would face. It carries less refrigerant. And here's a great thing for your listeners out there to know about this. If there's a leak, let's just say something happens, okay, and that coil doesn't perform in year 9, guess what? We're going to yank that coil out. We're going to put a new microchannel coil in there. And microchannel is an innovative product. It's something that Nordyne has really Westinghouse with Nordyne Products has stood out and really took the initiative in making sure that people see this product, know the benefits of this product, and not only that, but you're seeing efficiencies increase. You're seeing just a fantastic product line out of it.
And here again, this is not a new technology. A microchannel coil has been around for years and years, but as the spirit of Westinghouse, they have taken that and done some innovation on it and brought it up to the level of quality that we expect from Westinghouse.
This is Cool Time with Tony and Allied Air. KRZK News Time approaching 9:52. In the wrap-up of our program, we've got more innovation and more great products from Westinghouse to discuss at the station for straight talk, heating and cooling, and energy efficiency. 106.3 KRZK. KRZK News Time coming up to 9:54. It's Saturday, 42 on a beautiful weekend in and around Ozark Mountain Country. This is the Comfort Zone. Cool time with Tony at Allied Air. Rejoining our hosts, Tony Martin and Michael Anderson. And, of course, we were talking about microchannel coil technology. It's just one of the many innovations, great products that are coming from Westinghouse. And with that great equipment, obviously, people would tend to have a tendency to think accessories, too. Michael, can you tell us some of the great accessories that Westinghouse has on the market and also what's coming out?
Well, Westinghouse, not only do we have the branded HVAC equipment, we also offer branded thermostats, branded humidifiers. And this is what ends up happening. Let's say, Tony, Allied comes in and they put in a Westinghouse system for you.
Yep. And
he puts in a thermostat. Now, usually what ends up happening is the thermostats across the industry are going to carry a 5-year warranty, okay? Well, this is what's going to happen, folks. Whenever you buy a Westinghouse system, they put this system in for you. We get you a Westinghouse thermostat. That warranty is now going to be 10 years. You're getting an extra 5 years that is going to go into the same kind of mentality of that quality pledge. Now you have a 10-year warranty on your thermostat.
And let's talk about thermostats just for a second, if we could. I want everybody to understand that the term thermostat needs to change. Used to, that was a good name for it. It turned the unit on and it turned the unit off. It set temperatures. But today, the system controllers do so much more than just regulate temperature. They regulate humidity. They regulate the comfort wall to wall. And they work 24 hours a day, nonstop, to provide us that, so they control the environment.
That's right. Your thermostat, your controller, that's really a workhorse for your system. That having a fantastic Westinghouse controller that's monitoring your Westinghouse system, that is going to take care of you.
And it's not only the reason I mentioned that is because I have a lot of customers that go to box stores and buy thermostats, bring them home, call me to come install them. Those are thermostats. You're not getting any added benefit from that.
That's right.
That's why it's important to get the system controller that's designed for that system.
Yep.
And any, obviously, because summer is going to be here before we know it, Michael, any must-have products to help a homeowner out there achieve that SEER rating that they so richly deserve?
Well, what I would tell folks is definitely, if you have not looked into any sort of variable speed, multi-stage, look into it. Have Tony and the guys from Allied come out and take a look at your system. It is amazing how much having that fluctuation in variable speeds can save you money. Obviously, check your filters too. Have Tony and the guys come out, do a thorough check on your system. Air filters are one of the things that if they're all clogged up and they're not working right, you're going to have air restriction.
And a lot of times you'll get calls for that reason right there and unknown. And a lot of times I'll be the second or third contractor to show up to find out that not only is the filters or the coil plugged, but now we have way too much refrigerant in it, because the natural assumption that people have is to add refrigerant to boost those levels.
That's right. And what I want to tell people is systems are designed to run. That's what they want to do. That's why they were created. We need to help these systems perform at the optimization that they were designed. Have those service checks that we talked about, so important. Have your coils cleaned. Have your outdoor condenser cleaned. Have your furnace filters changed. Have your thermostat looked at. Programmable thermostats can save you money. Why run that system at a temperature that doesn't need to be if you're not there?
And a thermostat can save you from 8 to 10% on your energy bill.
That's right.
That doesn't sound like a lot, but 8 to 10% over a year, that's a substantial amount of money.
That's right.
It's going to add up. Real quick, as we get ready to approach our wrap here, gentlemen, Michael, any products as well from Westinghouse? It was a topic of discussion we had here on the program that would be for air quality in the home. Anything that you have that would be helpful for that?
They do have media air filtration products, electric air cleaners. Just as Tony was talking back last week with the Sanuvox products, that's a fantastic product to have in your home as well. But really concentrating on electric air media filters, just really making sure that having that air as clean as possible coming through, because what's coming through that system is what's going back out that system.
And like our guest said last week, what we don't filter through our filtration systems, our lungs filter out.
That's right.
And Michael, as well, for folks, let them know where they can find you, social media, the web, and your contact information for Westinghouse.
If you want to learn more about Westinghouse products, obviously you can go to www.westinghoushvac.com. On there, you'll find all sorts of information that will be pertinent to this type of things that you would need to know about a system.
Gentlemen, that brings to a close this edition of Cool Time with Tony at Allied Air. Any parting words, Tony?
Just give us a call and we'll come help, and we'd be glad for you to join our family.
Michael Anderson with Westinghouse, sir, thank you so much for making your debut. We hope to have more visits with you in the future.
All right. Look forward to it.
Keep it right here, friends. Doug Rye is up next, the station for straight talk and HVAC comfort. We're 106.3 KRZK.